have done this. Okay, we are going to do our quick team presentation. Okay, so I think that recognition is one of the most fun things that we can do and something that we ought to do as leaders, whether it is something big like this with our team calls, or just you as a leader of maybe you've got a smaller team and you recognizing that, you know, Brittany did a really great post. Call Brittany out on her post and say, that was really, really good and really inspiring. Or you saw that Ashley sent a really scary dream team message to somebody, and call her out, recognize her. Ashley sent a really beautiful message, you guys. I'm super, super inspired by her. So I think recognition is a really important thing that a lot of times we don't spend enough time doing. And so tonight we're going to spend just a few minutes looking at our recognition from July. We had 3 senior silver rank ups in July, which is super exciting. And it sounds like we all have to have the K or C name because it was Corey, Chloe, and Carly who all ranked up to senior silver. So very, very good job, ladies. And then we had 4 ladies that ranked up to silver in July. We had Krissa, Megan, Tabby, and Patricia. Patricia is Nancy Stevens' mother-in-law, so that was fun that she was able to help her through events and things of that nature. So really, really proud of all 4 of you guys. Welcome to the team. If you're on this call, be very proud of yourself, because only 10% of Plexus ambassadors get to the rank of silver. So be very, very proud of yourself that you have gotten to that level. And keep going. Okay, and so now we're going to highlight and recognize the ladies, I think they're all ladies, who earned the crossbody bag. We had close to 200 people that joined our team in July, which was really exciting, and then we had a lot of y'all show out. Look at Nancy Stevens adding 6 people, Lauren and Valerie added 5 people. That just is a reflection of their work, the seeds that they have been sowing, and I'm really, really excited. Nancy's going to talk to us in a couple of weeks about the things that she's been doing to sow those seeds to where now she's seeing that harvest. So congratulations to all of you guys who worked really hard and got rewarded for your work. Really, really proud of you all. I have to keep moving this thing. Do you guys see this thing? Is it in y'all's way? Because it sure is in my way. Okay, so this is our August calendar. You guys, we have that gold call. Remember, that's always the first Thursday of the month. Those are always really, really fruitful and really rich with really great training. So I encourage you guys to make a goal to hit 100 pay points this month or more so you can be on the call in September. We team up with Jordan Ronberry and Joanna Miller, both diamonds, and their golds who have earned the call, golds and above who've earned the call. So super, super fruitful and rich. So I really encourage you guys to do that. It's always the first Thursday of every month. Tonight we get to do our team call with Robin. I'm going to talk through some events and some challenges that we have, like good challenges, not, struggle challenges, but IPA challenges. I'm going to talk through those in just a second, but we also have our Ruby and above call that's happening the 3rd Friday of the month. So if you have ever ranked up to Ruby, then we would really love for you to join us on that call. So in August, we have some special things for you starting tomorrow, the 8th of August, until the following Tuesday, the 15th. I'm going to be posting every single day some sort of daily challenge. So think about, and they're all like fun, like they're all different. So think like bingo or what I did today challenge, or, reaching out to dream teamers, things like that, specific things that I really believe in, that I believe if you do those things consistently, you will see growth in your business. And so every single day, because I believe in those things, I'm going to be drawing for a prize every single day for you guys. So that's going to be something for you guys and for people doing the business. That starts tomorrow. Then, as you guys can see on Mondays, since we're taking a small little break with our accountability until September, we're going to do training and inspiration the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th. So it will only be 30 minutes, and it's going to be 2 people from our team who are going to share like a training tip on their business, things that are working for them. And then we're also going to have somebody from our team share about their health. So training and inspiration are always so, so good. I encourage you guys to jump on. I encourage you to have your team come on, have your customers come on too, because it's super encouraging. And that's going to be every Monday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard. So our normal time, it'll only be 30 minutes. And then I have that big diamond over there in the right because we have something really big that's going to be dropped on the 20th. That's for our team. So I'm really, really excited. So be looking for that. So that's for you. Now we have something for them, meaning your customers who haven't quite decided to do the business, or who may need some value to be added back to them on the products, or them being your potentials, people that you can be following up with. So this Thursday night, we're going to do like a time and financial opportunity, basically a business opportunity, and it's going to be a teacher's edition. So I've actually got 4 different jewels from other teams. We have Darcy Groton, who's a diamond. We have Brianne Coolidge, who is also a diamond. And then we have 2 emeralds, Lauren Geary and then Brianna Bodkins. They're all 4 teachers or have been teachers in the past. So they're going to be kind of talking a little bit in that area of like where they were before Plexus and how Plexus has given them that financial opportunity and that time freedom. So I encourage you to invite your people, your customers, your team members, and your potentials that you think would be amazing with this business to come and jump on the 10th. So that's this Thursday night. And that will be at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard. And then the second event that we're doing for them, for your potentials, for your team, is going to be another teacher's edition for health, hope, and happiness. So it's going to be health story focused. And I've asked multiple teachers or people who have taught in the past from our team to come and share their health stories. So as you can see, there's this theme of like the back to school, teachers, and it doesn't have to be just teachers that jump on the call. We all are tired. We all could benefit from better health, better sleep, better moods. So I encourage you guys to take advantage of those 2 opportunities to invite for them. So corporate for this month, the focuses with corporate would be, this is your last month to earn the cruise. So I have in here, you're capable. Put your blinders on and work intentionally. I don't want you guys to sit there and look at your points and be like, there's no way, because there's absolutely no way if you aren't working towards it. But if you start working really hard, you may not hit the 800 points or 1250. You may not. But you are advancing your business because you're showing up and you have your blinders on and you are intentionally working. And that is going to grow your business, because we don't want you to just be focused on, the trips and the prizes. We want you to be focused on your business. We want you to be focused on the compensation plan and retaining your people and adding new people and duplicating, because that's going to grow your business to the next level. This cruise is just a fun amenity. If you don't earn it, that's okay. There are going to be other trips that you're going to earn, but you definitely won't earn it if you're not being intentional with your business. So this is your last month to earn it. Be super intentional. You also, from corporate, they're doing, if you add somebody, a customer this month, you get automatically 250 perk points. I love that amenity because that allows us to go and try new products. It allows our customers, brand new people who say they don't want the business, they're not only earning 250 perks, they're also earning either product credit, staying at VIP, or like $35 in cash. Like, that's awesome. So that's a really great way to encourage people to go and bring on a friend to be a VIP with them. Another incentive from Plexus is in Roll 3. You get those branded packing cubes, so Plexus packing cubes that you can take with you to Mexico, or where are we going? On the cruise, wherever we're going. And then don't forget about the Give 10 code. So that way for your new VIPs, you can also, you've got the welcome pack discount. Then you can also add the Give 10 code, and that takes another $10 off. So that's from corporate. Here is a quick reference of the earning potential. And you guys, as I was putting this together today, I was just looking at that and I was just thinking, it's so, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I see these graphics and I just kind of skirt over them and I don't really look at them. But today when I was putting this all together, I was like, dang, that's a lot of money that could really, really bless a family or multiple families. So don't skirt over this. Look at that. People could earn, just by adding 3 people, anywhere from $105 to $305. If you refer, up to 20 people, that's almost $2,300 that somebody could get. So that's a huge gift. So that is something that we have to offer to people. So don't skirt over this, because for me, like when I started, I needed to get my products paid for. And so when I heard about, oh, you just need to enroll 3, or you need to have 3 friends come with you, that's going to pay for your products. That was a huge incentive for me. So you have no idea who on your team could really benefit from this, and you're not going to know until you ask them about it and bring this up to them. Want to celebrate. We have 20 people who have earned the cruise from our team. I think Dina, she is 5 points away. She may have already earned it, but as of this afternoon, she was at 795. So hopefully she's going to get on that list in just a second too. And if I've missed anybody, please put it in the chat. This is what my coach sent to me. But that's amazing. I do want to see us, though, double this number. I really want to see us have 40 people in August earning this trip. It's going to be amazing, and I want all of us to be there together to do this. And I believe that we can. So just as a quick reminder, you get credits to go towards this cruise by really focusing on the 4 pillars, by enrolling people, by retaining your people, by your consistency credits, like if you're hitting your rank, or you get credits on your rank up, like if you ranked up or if your level 1's ranked up. So this is a really cool cool cruise, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh. What's the word I'm looking for? Contest. Thank you. This is a really cool contest because it is rewarding us for the behavior that we know will grow our business with those 4 pillars. So really focus on those 4 areas: enrolling, retaining. And you know what? When I was in Arizona this last week, they were talking, corporate was talking to us about 60% of the people are earning this cruise because of their retention credits. So make sure you're taking care of your customers. And now is Robin on. Without further ado, the lady that we all have been so very excited to hear from. I'm just going to make sure that she is on here. I think she is. Yes, she is. Look at that pretty babe. The woman that we have all been so excited to hear from. We have patiently waited for months and months to hear from Robin Sullivan. I'm so excited to pass the microphone over. If you guys don't know, she is a beautiful diamond. She's a mom of 2. She's got the most amazing husband, Derek. We got to hang out together in Portugal and we became really, really close friends while we were in Portugal. She is a hard worker. Her story is super inspiring. She's on advisory board. She's brilliant. She's got an education background. So I know you guys are all going to just really, really connect with her. Okay, we'll pass it off to you, Robin. Love ya.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I love you too. And you guys have waited months and months because I'm a goober and completely got the time zones wrong. And so I did not even make the last call. So my apologies again. I was mortified because if anybody knows me knows, I dot all my I's and I cross all my T's, and I'm a person of my word. So when I missed that call for sweet Emily and her amazing team, I was literally just fit to be tied. So thank you for your grace, Emily, and for your forgiveness. I really appreciate you having me on. So a little bit about me, guys. I started this business. It'll be 10 years on September 3rd. So little less than a month from now, I will be 10 years into Plexus. 9 years ago, I was at my daughter's Meet the Teacher tonight, right before this call. And I met a couple of her teachers, obviously, and we had this conversation about education. They were talking to me how about they used to teach elementary, now they're in middle school. And so anyway, we're having this conversation and the teacher was asking me, oh, so do you still, teach? Are you still in education? Are you still principal? And I was like, no, I quit 9 years ago. And they were like, oh, do you miss it? I was like, no, I don't miss it at all. And so I love all my educators out there. Y'all have a special place in my heart. But where I was in the time that I got introduced to Plexus, it was really, God's way of sharing with me that there was something else out there more for me, and that I could make just as if not more of an impact with families and awesome people, adults included, not just children, through the vehicle of Plexus. And so it'll be 10 years I started this journey, and I started just for the ability to lose weight and to gain willpower for food. I had no desire to build a business because I honestly didn't know this was a business. The lady that introduced me to Plexus, she didn't really share it that way. She was just like, oh yeah, I got my products at this discount. This is how much it cost a month in order to get the deepest savings, because she knew I was a bargain shopper. This is what you'd have to do. You'd like join Costco or Sam's, this is that and the other. And so I was like, okay, I knew it took me more than 3 or 4 months to pack on the pound. So it'd probably take me more than 3 or 4 months to get it off. And so I was completely sold on getting the wholesale pricing. So I joined. And I started taking the products, did not see huge results in the beginning. My first 2 months, I lost 2 pounds, but I lost 19 inches of fat. I always share that part of my story because a lot of people don't measure themselves. A lot of people don't take pictures. And if you really want people to see this through, like be in the long game of Plexus and see this through to completion until they really reach the goals that they're wanting to health-wise, and both externally and internally, it's really important that you guide people through the process of the things that will help them get those small wins. And so for me, one of those small wins was, hey, I measured myself because I wanted to make sure I was getting the most out of my investment. It wasn't because someone was like breathing down my neck telling me, you got to measure yourself, you got to measure yourself. I just really wanted to see if the products truly were working. And so me losing those 19 inches of fat in the beginning really motivated me to continue. Had I just stayed focused on the scale, which only moved 2 digits, I probably would not have stuck with it for much longer. So let that be just a lesson for all of you. So started taking the products, felt some, differences in my digestion and energy and sleeping better and all the things. But again, didn't lose a bunch of weight. But 7 months in, I did lose 30 pounds and 30 inches. And that was really big for me. And people could completely see the transformation. And so I just started sharing. I only started sharing though, because the lady who introduced me to Plexus showed me her paper check. And back in the day, 10 years ago, we would get these paper checks in the mail. And the paper checks said $500. And I was like floored because the lady worked with me. So I was like, if she's making $500 a month and she's not like pounding the pavement and going door to door and, picking up the yellow pages and calling people. I mean, that was my idea of like old school network marketing, right? So when she said, oh yeah, this is what I made, and I just posted on Facebook, I was literally in shock because I knew she was spending all her working hours really with me because we were working in the school building and it was a turnaround school situation. So we were working lots of hours, 50, 70 hours a week. So when I saw her make that amount of money in a very short period of time, I was like, you know what? If she can do it, I can do it. And so I got over my fear really quickly. So you want to share with people and cast vision. That's one of the biggest ways that I have kept and held a sustainable business, is because I have so many level ones. I have a very wide organization. And for many years, it took me a long time to get to diamond. A lot of those years, I was still a solid emerald, solid sapphire once I got to sapphire. And it was only because I had just such a wide level 1 base. And the reason why I had such a wide level 1 base is because I did shout it from the rooftops, but I also have been very consistent. And the other big thing that I think has really benefited me over the course of almost 10 years is the fact that I do cast big vision for people. And so a lot of times you may think casting big vision, well, you have to be at least emerald, or you have to make some, life-changing income in order to cast big vision, but you don't. Because most of the people that are still leaders with me in this business were leaders with me. They were coming up the ranks with me. So when I was a senior gold, they were rising up the ranks of gold. Does that make sense? And so from the very beginning, I've been casting vision to people about what this opportunity could do and be for them and their families. So continue to take the product. 7 months in, I had I was making half of what I made as an assistant principal by the end of that school year, 2013-14 school year. So I started September 3rd. By end of May 2014 school year, 2013-14 school year, I was making half. And what that informed me, of a couple things. It let me know, man, if I just put like a little bit more effort into this, maybe I could replace my income, because the full 9 months that I was sharing Plexus and started making half of what I made as an AP assistant principal, I was only doing that through posting on Facebook, following up with people, and reaching out to people who like my posts. That was it. I never did an event. I never did a Zoom. It wasn't until the very end of the school year that I did my first in-person event at my home. I hosted people in my home. But I mean, I was literally making this income just from social selling, truly social media. That was it. And so when I realized, man, if I'm putting this little effort and I'm making this amount, what would happen if I actually treated this like a real business? And that's really what I want to talk to you guys tonight about. Is I know 100% that the reason why I am here today in my business is because early on, I adopted an entrepreneurial mindset. Okay. So having and adopting an entrepreneurial mindset from having an employee mindset, it really helped me to be more resilient. It helped me to be the leader that I knew I needed to be for my team in order to show up consistently every day for a decade. And I still do to this day. And in order for me to not give up, I had to change my mindset about business and about money, right? Because I was an employee. I was not an entrepreneur before Plexus. And it wasn't until I realized, okay, there's a big difference between what I'm doing now, what I was doing before, when I would show up every day, work my 10, 11 hours, and then automatically I know I have a guaranteed paycheck. This is a different deal. Okay. So that's really what I want to talk to you guys about. Is that okay? Is that okay? I know Emily wanted me to share a little bit about my story, and I feel like I shared most of it. I didn't share the part where it took me 7 years to get to Diamond and all this, is that, and the other. Most of y'all probably know that. I'm probably still the longest standing person. It took that long to get to Diamond, but I would not change a thing. Like, I don't regret that it took me 7 years. God was ordering my steps. He was preparing me for what he knew would be just really one of the biggest blessings of my life, is for me to have the team that I have now, and for me continuously working to raise my leadership lid, to raise up more leaders in my organization. And really, honestly, throughout Plexus, now that I'm a dual trainer and a part of the advisory board. So it's truly would not take 1 ounce of it away. Like, I am so grateful that my journey has looked the way it looked. So a couple of things I want to share with you about entrepreneurial mindset. Okay. First, when you're thinking about being an entrepreneur and when you're thinking about talking to people about becoming an entrepreneur, most of the time, entrepreneurs are motivated by a couple of things. One, they're motivated for a desire for freedom. 100% hands down, that's what I wanted. I already had a great life before Plexus, had a beautiful home, had all the 2.5 kids. My mom lives with me. She's been such a huge, has been such a huge support for me from the very beginning. Married, involved in ministry, like, I had all the things, right? But I wanted freedom. I really wanted to have flexibility in my schedule so that I was working and pouring into my own kids, not just as much, if not more, than I was pouring into other people's kids in the classroom. And I felt like there was a disconnect. Like, I was always at work, always, because I didn't have the flexibility to work from home. I didn't have the flexibility even in the summers because I was assistant principal. And so assistant principals, they have a longer contract than teachers do. So I was working when my kids were at home for the summer. And so for me, I was really desiring freedom. Another thing is that entrepreneurs really, they want freedom to pursue their own dreams. Okay. And I tell people this all the time. I would rather work 80 hours to pursue my own dreams than work 40 hours to pursue someone else's. I like working harder now than I did when I was an educator. And I worked really hard as an educator, trust me. But I do work harder now. I'll be honest with you. I do not make any bones about it. Being a diamond and staying a diamond and sticking with this is not for the faint of heart, right? You just don't get to diamond and be like, oh, I've arrived, everything's fine. I just throw all the confetti in the air and I'll sit and eat my bonbons all day. No, just as much as you have to work to get there, you have to work to maintain it. And so it is really important that I am very transparent about that with everybody that I speak with, because I think a lot of people get disillusioned about what this can be. And what it will be once they get to where they're trying to go. So a freedom to pursue your own dreams. I was so invested in, I would rather work harder for myself than work, a certain amount or a certain level for someone else, because I would never be able to build my own dream if I stayed an educator. Also, entrepreneurs, they like the freedom to test the limits of their own skills. I don't know about y'all, but there are people out there like me who like to compete with themselves. Like, I legit like to compete with myself. And so when I was an educator, I felt very limited by that. Does anybody else do that? Do y'all think I'm weird for saying that? Does anybody like to see, like, you like just to prove to yourself that you can do it, whether it's running a half marathon or, not eating sugar for, 3 weeks or whatever it is, the big challenge for you, right? For me, I like to test my own limits. I really like to see how far I can go with something. And I felt like as an educator, it didn't matter how great I was as an educator. It didn't matter how good I was. Nothing ever changed. I still got the same turkey for, Thanksgiving. I still got the ballpoint pen at the 5-year mark. I still got nothing ever. There was no differentiation in me being a great educator and someone else being a good or mediocre educator. And so for me, that made a difference. I see some people that can probably identify with that. Even if you're not an educator, you may be in a 9 to 5, that's how you feel. That was me 1,000%. So this like fueled me. I was like, man, I get to test my own limits. I get to compete with myself. All right, it's on. So that was a big thing. And that's a big thing for a lot of people who have an entrepreneurial mindset. Another thing is just freedom of time, 100% hands down. That was what I was looking for. And a freedom to be paid what you're actually worth. As an educator, again, didn't matter how hard I worked, didn't matter how many kids passed the state exam every year. Like I never had a kid fail the state exam, all my years of teaching, never. Did I get a big bonus for that? Nope. Did I get a medal or a plaque or something at our home office, right? Like we have like Star David, like did I have the ability to be featured on a wall or a brick on the walkway walking up to our entrance of our building of our school district? No, never. I never had the ability to get any of those accolades. I just kept working, right? I did it for the love of the job. And I did love what I did for a decade in education, but it's nice to be recognized for your efforts. And so that really, really fueled me. And then finally, a lot of people who have an entrepreneurial mindset, they have a freedom from financial constraint. They want that freedom. They don't want to be robbing Peter to pay Paul for the rest of their life. They want to create more margin in their budget. And for everybody, that looks different, guys. For me, I knew that extra $500 a month, what that chick made, the lady that introduced me to Plexus, the fact that she made extra $500 a month, that motivated me. I wasn't even thinking about going diamond. Like I could not even see that far at that point. Okay. All I saw was, an extra $500, it would definitely pay for my products. And then I'd have like 200, 300, 400 extra dollars a month. That's amazing. That was great. And for anyone, $500 is more than not having $500. So don't discount the small blessings, even if it's $100 paycheck, even if it's a $75 paycheck, that can pay for a night out with your family once a month. Okay. So those are some big things that you really want to be looking for that people are motivated by. You also want to be speaking to that. For me, I really try to make a concerted effort to speak to that when I'm talking to people, as I'm prospecting people for Plexus, but I also like to talk about this, through my stories, through my posting. Like I want to speak to those individuals, right? So these are just a couple characteristics I'm going to share full with you. It's something that it really resonated with me 10 years ago when I read the book, Dare to Dream, Work to Win. Did I share this with y'all the last time I was on your call a couple years ago? No? Dare to Dream, Work to Win. Great book. The book is called Dare to Dream, Work to Win. Even if I had, y'all slept since then, you probably don't remember what I said. Okay. So Dare to Dream, Work to Win. One of the best books I've ever read. I think it's about network marketing, but I know it's about network marketing, but it's great book. And so there are 4 things that he shares. Can't remember the author's name, so don't give me the line, but 4 things that the author shares about entrepreneurial mindset. One is that entrepreneurs, they learn and accept a new way of measuring time and changing their expectations. Okay. And really what he means by this is like when you're an employee, how many of you are accustomed to a direct correlation between the hours you work and then the compensation you receive? Like, I'm going to work my 40 hours and I'm going to get X number of dollars every 2 weeks, right? No harm, no foul. Like this is what you're going to get paid, solid number, steady. And there are people that's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with wanting to have a steady paycheck. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But when you think like an employee, and then you're shifting to think like an entrepreneur, you can no longer think like, oh, I've put in this time with Plexus for 4 months or 6 months or 6 years, and a payment that I'm receiving is not commensurate to the amount of work that I put in. That's still thinking like an employee. And if you're an entrepreneur, you have to think differently, right? Because there's a whole lot of work that I put in to the front end of my business that I did not see compensation for initially. If I'm working and I was making, $500 or $700 a month, but I'm starting to work it more, like I should be paid maybe a couple $1,000s a month, whatever it is in your mind. I mean, these are all arbitrary numbers anyway, right? You're just kind of making it up. But if in your mind you think, well, I'm not getting paid commensurate to the amount of time I'm putting in, that's a part of being an entrepreneur, because I knew that there would come a time that I'm making so much money that I don't even understand why I'm making it. I'm like, oh, okay. I just went to Mexico with my family a couple of days ago. A couple of weeks before that, I was in Kentucky. A week before that, I was in Joel's school training Joel's, so I'm not getting paid for that. And I'm definitely not working my business like I normally would. And then I'm at advisory board meeting with Emily Burgess just a couple of days ago. All this has happened within like a 2-week time span. And my team is still working. We still rank diamond at the end of July. And so at the end of the day, a lot of the time that I would have been working in a traditional classroom and getting paid exactly a prescriptive amount, in this business, there may be times that I'm not working, but I'm still getting paid. That's the beauty of residual income. And so one of the biggest things that I've read many times, but it's specifically one thing that Les Brown has said in so many of his talks, is he says many times we overestimate what we can accomplish in 2 years, but we underestimate what we can accomplish in 10. And I say 10 years, y'all, because a lot of people say this, they use this quote and they'll say they overestimate, what they can accomplish in 1 year, but they underestimate what they accomplish in 3. And I don't like when people say 3. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but I like saying 10 because I feel like this is a business that you have to look at it from the long game. And so when I read that quote by Les Brown, and it said 10 years, when he says it, he says 10 years. To me, it just changed my mindset immediately. I was like, okay. So I didn't even, yes, did I think that it was taking a long time for me to get to diamond? Because all my friends, it took way less time. 100%. All my sidelines took way less than 7 years. But at the end of the day, I wasn't stuck on, oh my gosh, it's 5 years and I'm not a diamond yet, so I guess it isn't for me. Oh, can I repeat that quote? Yes. Many times we overestimate what we can accomplish in 2 years and we underestimate what we can accomplish in 10 years. And that stuck with me, y'all, because I was like, man, if it takes me 10 years to diamond, the time's going to pass anyway. I was either going to be working in a school building with no windows, or I was going to be sitting at home by my pool, picking my kids up from school, going to the PTA meetings, being able to eat lunch with my kids whenever I wanted to, and working from my phone literally from anywhere. I guess I'll take the latter, right? I mean, it's a no-brainer. And so that really, really has to get seeped into your brain if you want to do this for the long haul, if you really want to have success. Because I had that mindset early on, it didn't matter to me that it was taking longer than I expected. It just didn't matter, because I was like, I just know if I'm the last man standing, I can't help but to win. Like there is no other way for me to go except for up. I'm not going to go down. I can only go up. And so that's what I did. I just stayed the course. The other thing is that entrepreneurs, this is number 2. Entrepreneurs talk themselves into staying on task. Okay. A lot of times when you have an employee mindset, you're always talking yourself out of staying on task. Oh, The Bachelorette is coming on tonight. Oh, I gotta get my wine and watch that. Oh my goodness. My kids back to school's happening. And so all things have to stop. Like the whole world stops when any change happens in my schedule. And so we find reasons, really they're excuses, right, to not do what we need to do. Okay. All of us are guilty of it. Right. And if you notice, the most highly successful business owners, they just have great work ethic. They just have great work ethic. And so as an entrepreneur, you are going to be doing the menial, mundane, insignificant, what you think are seemingly insignificant tasks over and over and over again until the compound effect takes place. I'm living, breathing like testimony of the compound effect. I just kept doing the things over and over and over for 6.5 years. And then boom, my business did a complete turnaround. Okay. And that is because of persistence, belief, and really working like it depends on me and praying like it depends on him. 100%. That's all this was. Okay. The other thing about entrepreneurs and them talking themselves into staying on task is that they regularly do the little things in their business that really make all the difference. A lot of people are always asking for the secret sauce. What's the magic pill? Like, what do you have to do? It's just do the small, menial, mundane, insignificant task every day, and eventually you'll bear fruit. They also do what needs to be done. They just do the things, right? They produce instead of procrastinating. Okay. I always tell my team, eat the frog first. Do the thing that is hardest to do. So if that's reaching out to people, is following up with people, is posting, whatever it is hardest for you to do that first thing in the morning, right? So you get that done and you're like, I got the most boring or scariest thing for me to do. I did it first thing. And so now I can move on to the other tasks, things I need to do in my business that don't give me as much angst. Because there's always going to be things in your business you don't love to do, right? But it's a business. Okay. And then the other thing is, don't let your momentary discomfort produce instead of procrastinate. So entrepreneurs are constantly thinking about, what am I going to produce? What am I going to create, instead of procrastinating, putting things off. And then don't let your momentary discomfort derail you from pursuing your dreams, y'all. Like, I have momentary discomfort all the time when my points aren't where I want them to be. When I have to step out of my comfort zone and do things I haven't done before, right? All of those times where I had that momentary discomfort, I never let them derail me from pursuing what I knew would bear much fruit. And that is building a legacy business for my family. Okay. We all are going to wrestle with occasional doubt. We're always going to have a little bit of fear or fatigue and sometimes even burnout, but you just have to keep going. Okay. Number 3 is entrepreneurs. They see things that others cannot see. Okay. They 100% do. That's the reason why there's a place for employees in our world. We need people to do all kinds of work that are salary pay or hourly pay, right? But there's also a special group of people, entrepreneurs, who they can see things that others cannot see. And a lot of times when I read this, I was like, man, I get it now. Because as I started to grow in my business and started to kind of raise myself up as a leader and raise my lid, I realized that there is a lot of times entrepreneurs live with a unique loneliness. Because a lot of times they're waiting for others to finally see what they've been seeing for years. Does that make sense? So how many of you started Plexus? You saw this opportunity, you saw what this was like. I see it. Like, I see it clearly what this could be for me, my family. I see it clearly what this is for so many people already. And I just have to do the work, right? And then newsflash, you tell your best friend, you tell your sister, you tell your coworker, you've been like daily working with for 15 years, and none of them are interested. None of them. They're all like, no, you're crazy. I mean, I have 50 billion family members. I go to 2 family reunions every year, at least 300 people at these family reunions, y'all. I mean, like, deep family. Probably 5 of them have ever ordered Plexus from me out of hundreds of people in my family who I'm connected to, and have 5 siblings. Only one of them ever orders. I mean, so y'all, it can become very, very disappointing, and you can become disillusioned really quickly if you don't realize, as an entrepreneur, you are supposed to see things that other people can't see. Sometimes people will come around you, and it's like, when I'm sharing the business opportunity with someone, I literally feel like, okay, let me go give a couple vision tests today. Let me give a couple vision tests, see if these jokers can see. Because guess what? 9 times out of 10, they're going to fail the vision test, right? Sometimes it's not for them to see what you see. And maybe over time, with consistent pursuit of that person, I reached out to my first diamond 87 times, y'all. 87 times over 4 years for her to finally decide that she wanted to do this business. Now, all bets were off once she started, but it took me 4 years and 87 reach outs, right? So every time I was giving her a different vision test. So also another lesson there is be persistent, right? Because I didn't know if she'd ever get it. I didn't know she would ever pass the vision test, but eventually she did. So if there's something that's in your spirit that makes you think that the person that you're reaching out to consistently over time, that's a person you need to continue to do that with. Do it. Like, if it's a nudging, it's probably a nudging from something deeper, right? Than just, oh, I have this, maybe it's a gut feeling. I think it's a nudging of the Holy Spirit that made me want to reach out to this person over and over and over and over again, and constantly be rejected, constantly be ignored, constantly have the bubble go down. And I see that she's looked at my message, but doesn't say a word to me 87 times. And it's been such a fun ride doing this business with her. Okay. So the last and final thing, the fourth one, is the different characteristics that entrepreneurs, they possess that most people don't, is they have this mindset that they're continuously wanting to improve their own vision, right? And so they live with an overall attitude of positive expectancy. Y'all, mindset is everything. Like, I feel like I have a good mindset and I stay reading books on mindset because like I can constantly improve. Like I constantly have this attitude that I'm trying to fuel and stay positive, because there's tons of ups and downs of the business that you could have started out with the best mindset in the world. And then by year 5, you're down in the dumps, right? And it's this overall attitude of positive expectancy. It's like, because of this type of mindset, y'all, entrepreneurs, real entrepreneurs, they are unflappable. Like literally, I feel like anything can come my way and I'm still going to stay the course. That is an entrepreneurial mindset. You literally become, you're much less flappable. Doesn't mean that you don't have your bad day where I'm like going to call Emily and like vent and complain, like, oh, I don't know what else to do, blah, blah, blah. We've had those conversations, right, Emily? It doesn't mean that I don't have those feelings, but I'm less flappable because I have the conversation. We both say, okay, well, let's get up off our duff and keep it moving. And then we keep it moving, right? So less flappable. It's not gonna allow me to stay on this emotional roller coaster. Okay. The other thing is that standard parts of our business, like being stood up for appointments. How many of you have done a meeting or done an event, planned all day, planned all week, and cleaned your house, did all the things, you had 1 or 2 people show up? Happens to people all the time. Happens to diamonds all the time too. Like I still have events, don't have a lot of people show up, right? But what if you have the attitude and overall positive expectancy in every aspect of your life? That's just how you thought. That's just how your brain operated. That even if that one person, and you invited 20, there were 10 who were RSVP'd, said they were showing up, only 1 did. What if that one person's life completely changes? Like that's an attitude of overall positive expectancy, that even if that one person shows up, who cares? Because maybe that's the one person I was called to reach that day, right? And so when people have no shows or a few less people show them what they were expecting for meetings, it's less bothersome to them because the future, okay, this all has to do with mindset and clarity. The future is seen with such clarity and such inevitability that the routine aspects of the business are expected and they're just inconsequential to them, right? So it's expected for you to have a call that everybody doesn't show up. It's expected for you to have events that people are flaky and don't come, right? That's just a part of business, right? How many times do y'all go to a restaurant, especially nowadays, post-COVID, and you're like, man, what happened to that restaurant during COVID? It closed down, right? Or man, what happened to that? And these are brick and mortar businesses, y'all. Like, can you imagine how devastating it is to lose like a brick and mortar business? If we lose business, we're losing what, like a Saturday afternoon? Like we're not even losing anything. We're losing maybe a couple of, chips and guacamole and salsa we sat on our countertop. You know what I mean? And even that's going to go in the refrigerator and the kids are going to eat it that afternoon. And so there's literally nothing you lose. Whereas if we had brick and mortar businesses, 100%, you would be out of dollars and cents. You'd be out of so much, right? And so that's another thing that just keeps me going in this business is like, there's literally nothing to lose here. You only have things to gain in this business. There's only things to gain. And even if you never made another dollar in this business, honest to goodness, I would still say this was a blessing because my mindset, the way that I've grown, both spiritually, mentally, emotionally, the way that my body has responded in so many ways because I've gotten myself healthy from the inside out. Like I can only say good things. And so that's the reason why I'm able to sleep at night, because every time I share these products or share this opportunity with someone, it's always a win-win. There's never going to be a winning or losing proposition or a losing proposition on the person I'm talking to's in. It's always going to be a win-win. That's one thing that makes me feel so good about sharing Plexus. So I hope that these 4 points will really resonate with you and help you to really adopt, if you haven't already, an entrepreneurial mindset, because I'm telling you this, it is going to help you to be more resilient. It is going to help you to want to become a leader of leaders, right? Because it first starts, being an entrepreneur starts with first you leading yourself, which I'm super passionate about that topic. And also it's going to help you to stay the course and to not give up. So I don't know. Was that enough? I don't know what my time is.
So good. So good. I've actually been reading about that too, the mindset. I was reading more about like the John Maxwell, are you a leader of leaders or are you a leader of followers? And talking about like, are you a CEO or are you an employee? So it goes hand in hand with the things I've been learning myself,
Wow.
which I just love that. And that word of resiliency, I think that that is the word that I just think about all the time with like anybody could do this. Anybody could. I wrote about it. I think today on our team page. If it doesn't matter your gender, your personality, your body type, your skin color, your demographics. It doesn't matter any of that. But if
Mhm.
you have that resiliency and that consistency where you're showing up, and I said in that post, positive, hopeful anticipation, just like you talked about,
Mhm.
anybody can do this, but it is that mindset. Am I a leader or am I a follower? Am I a CEO that this business depends on me and my efforts that I'm putting in, my attitude, what I'm doing to grow myself? Or am I just kind of letting other people lead and I'm just kind of doing the bare minimum? I really liked where you said I actually put it in quotes. It was at the beginning where you said, if I put a little more effort in this, maybe I could earn all of my assistant principal income. But I love that. If I put a little more effort in this. And I think that's it. I think a lot of us sit at that comfort zone. I know I have
Yeah.
many times. Like I'll just sit in my comfort zone, like I'm doing okay. But it's when I really dial down and get intentional with growing myself and really pouring into people and just stretching myself a little bit and just getting into that consistent activity. When I put in that little bit more effort, I feel a lot more in control of my business. I feel a lot less chaotic and I am seeing fruit. And so I think that that's it. I just think that it's you have to make that decision. Am I the CEO or am I the employee? Am I an entrepreneur or am I an employee? So Robin, this is so good. We did have a question come through on the chat about your vision test, how you were talking about how you gave 87 follow-ups and that was like a lot of vision testing. Would you mind kind of expanding a little bit on that, like maybe an example or two of what that looks like?
Yeah. So with the 87 reach outs, I mean, I flat out prospected my level one diamond for the business. And it was one of the few times I had done that. I was already an emerald when I started prospecting her. And I honestly didn't start leading with the business until I was a jewel. So I was clueless. Like I didn't know anything about prospect. I was like prospecting about the business because I started for the products. I didn't start for the business. So I didn't know anything about that. Don't have an upline. So just didn't know a lot of things, honestly. And so it also made my journey take a little bit longer. But so when I reached out to her, I legitimately asked her for a phone conversation. I was like, hey, I think you would be amazing at this. Would you give me 15 minutes of your time just to share with you? And she's somebody I went to college with. So we knew each other and were friends back in the day, but we didn't talk, often, but we were just connected through Facebook. So I got on the phone with her, talked to her. She honestly was already selling something else. She was selling like cleaning products and or like non-toxic cleaning products. And I was like, girl, nobody in our community cares about they still love bleach. Like people love bleach. So I mean, like that's gonna be a waste of your time. And I was cool enough with her that I felt like I could say that and I did. And I say a lot of things probably a little bit more boldly than I probably should. But I did, and she obviously joined my team, so I guess it was okay. And she politely, accepted the conversation. We chatted for 30, 40 minutes. It wasn't 15. And she got off the phone and didn't do anything. And then so for months and months and months, tried to just get her to take the product. She started ordering retail, did that for about a year. And then I would just continue to massage the relationship, this back and forth, volleyballing back and forth. Every time there was a special, I would, add, tag, and message her on things in my prospecting group, like my testimonials page. And every time there was a special, some sort of offer, I would reach out to her. And then I kept asking her, and there's some level of boldness. So I feel like when you treat this like a business and you're growing yourself, like Emily was saying, I feel like it also builds confidence. And I was very confident in what I was offering. Like I legit feel like this is a gift. And so you're bad if you don't accept the gift, but it's my job to offer it to you. And so that's just my posture. That was just flat out my posture with this lady. And so I asked her because she kept ordering retail. And I was like, and I kept trying to figure out why she wouldn't order like the full combo. I was just very confused by her because like people say they don't have money, but then they order retail. And so she's like, I can't afford it, blah, blah, blah. But then she ordered retail. And so I just asked her, I was like, why do you keep ordering retail? Like, if you can't afford it, A, why aren't you doing this business with me? But B, why do you keep ordering retail? Why aren't you ordering as a preferred customer? Like, I didn't get it because at the time we still have preferred customers. And so she gave her whatever excuse or whatever. And so eventually she posted in a comment. I posted something about, because this was in my prospect page, was very non-compliant. And so I posted something about, I think, let's just say thyroid. Yes, who has thyroid issues? And it was this whole post about thyroid in my prospect and testimonials group that's non-compliant. And she commented and she said, me. And I was like, the heck? I was like, I've been talking to this girl for 4 years about plexus, and she never once said anything to me about thyroid issues. And so at that point, I just commented in the prospecting group. I was like, okay, I'm tired of playing games with you. It's time to get started. Like, enough is enough. Like, I'm calling you now. And I was headed to another one of those family reunions with 500 people. And I was like, hey, I'm headed to this reunion. I'd love to get you. So I was really nervous. Like, but I at that point, I started having boundaries in my business. And I was like, I'm going to my family reunion. I'm not going to do this while I'm away. I'll do it when I get back. And I just like praying, like, Lord, please don't let her, vanish again, for another 4 years. And so anyway, that's really how that happened. But it was just me constantly, but also, and I have to give you one more funny story about this lady. Do you mind if I give you one more funny story? So this is how crazy this whole 87 reach outs were. One time she reached out to me, legit, y'all, and she screenshotted the Avocare shake. No, it was either Shakeout, it was either Beachbody or Avocare. I think it was Beachbody. But like their shake, whatever their shake was, like their protein, she screenshotted the back of it and like circled the ingredient and said, hey, what do you think about these ingredients? So she literally looked at me as the health expert, but she was asking me about another company and not my products, like not Plexus. And so I thought, it was like, well, first of all, it has this, and this in it, which is problematic. So you really need to take a look at that. I said, but secondly, you do realize that Plexus has a protein shake. So why are you coming to me talking about Beachbody? And she was like, oopsie. And so I think it was this back and forth. But man, how many of you guys probably would have gotten into your feelings and been like, I'm mortified that she would message me about Beachbody when she knows I sell Plexus. And then the conversation would be over, right? And so my whole point of telling y'all this is like, be convicted about what you're representing. Like, I was so convicted. Like, I know what I'm talking about. I know what this is. I know it's a gift. And so I'm just going to keep talking to her and educating her until she sees what I see. That was I just wanted her to see what I saw in her, what I saw as far as her involvement in the business and how it could change her life. And little did I know, she's a special needs daughter, completely turned her special needs daughter health completely around. She was able to pay off all her kids' medical debt and all these things I did not even know she was struggling with. I didn't know these things. So I couldn't even speak to those things. But God knew. God knew that she was struggling in those areas. And so I was simply a vessel. That's all I was. I was simply a vessel. So anyway, that's all I got.
So good, Robin. I hope you guys took as many notes as I did. You said that book was called Dare to Dream, Work to Win. So everybody add that to your Audible or your library book wish list. I'm sure that's one that we might try to go over later. 3 pages. Good job, Kylie. I'm close. Not 3, but I'm close. Robin, this was wonderful. Thank you. You guys, like she just flew in from Mexico and had been in Arizona and had been all those places. And so the fact that she is here tonight is just blowing my mind. And I'm so, so grateful. I know that our team was just hanging on to every word and just such an inspiration. And just, this is coming from the mouth of you who said that you may be one of the longest people that took to get to Diamond, and it was worth it. And so for any of you who are sitting here feeling defeated in your business, go and look at your posture. Are you an entrepreneur or are you an employee? Look at your attitude, look at your mindset, look at your work activity, look at how you're caring for your customers, look at your excuses. Are you, and this is not to make people feel uncomfortable, but this is to be reflective. Are you making excuses, or are you really putting in that little bit of effort? Because you do not have to, I mean, Robin probably works this full-time hours. You don't have to work this full-time hours to make incredible income. You have to be consistent and intentional with what you're doing, and it will change your world. So Robin, you're the gift to us all. We're so grateful. Team, be looking for the IPA challenge. It's going to be starting tomorrow morning. Daily prizes given by yours truly. Like I said, we have something really fun. Robin might know a little about it. That's dropping on the 20th of August. She might be partnering with us. So that's your first little hint there. That will be dropping on the 20th. But you guys, this is the last month for that cruise. Do not sell yourself short. Even if you're sitting at 175 credits right now, you put your blinders on and you work hard. Don't be attached to the results. Don't let this say something about you if you don't earn it, if you do earn it. Just work hard. Be intentional. Be proud of the work that you put in at the end of August. Love you guys very, very much. Thank you for taking time out of your night to be here. Robin, appreciate you. Thank Derek and the girls for giving us you tonight. We'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Bye, friend. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye bye.